Hey, it's Lauren with Bead Box Bargains, and I am so excited to show you the new gemstone beads we have coming in this week. We got an amazing shipment of gemstones in. It's going to be all stone strands all the time, and I am excited for it. So to start us off, we've got some lovely fancy Jasper rondelle beads here in an 8x6mm size, and I just love that color variation. Natural, yummy, earthy colors. So pretty. Next, we have flower amazonite, also in about an 8x5 rondelle. They may be more like 7.5 because they look a little smaller. It might just be the faceting too. But I love, love, love flower amazonite for the summer. It's beachy, it's pretty. You've got all these gorgeous, cool, minty tones, and the facets on there are a lot of fun. Up next, we have some Larvikite. This is the smooth rondelle. I think we got some faceted ones in this week too, which we'll take a look at in a second. Larvikite, also known as black labradorite, has a wonderful silver sheen to it. So it is a darker member of the labradorite family. And instead of the multicolor finish, or multicolor labradorescence, excuse me, it has that silver. I love it. It's dark, it's pretty, it's silvery. It's a lot of fun. Up next, we have some dyed and heated magnesite in this gorgeous turquoise green color. These faceted rondelles are also about an 8x6mm. Look at that. I love those blues and greens. They are stunning. And we have a bunch of rondelles this week, which is exciting. So we've had a bunch of rounds in lately, but not as many rondelles. So here we have some rainbow fluorite. And I love those, just the variation in the tones. You've got greens, purples, some yellows in this strand too, which makes me happy. And fluorite just has such a gorgeous shine to it. Next, we have some really pretty calcite here. This is often called green onyx or Italian onyx, but it is actually a natural variety of calcite. So you've got some lovely bands on this strand. Now this will vary a lot. Some of the strands have more banding, some have less. All of them have like this nice spring green color with some browns and whites in them. It's a really pretty rondelle. Again, 8x6mm there. Ooh, up next we have Peace Jade, which is the trade name. It's not actually technically a jade, but it is a natural stone. And it is a combination of green serpentine, white quartz, and sometimes you get this purple sticktite in here too. So it is a beautiful, naturally occurring blend. I love the patterns. It is very relaxing and peaceful. I can see why or where it gets its name. Next, we have blue aventurine in this little bitty 4mm rondelle here. Oh, these are a fancy faceted rondelle, by the way. They're a little bit puffier than our typical rondelles, and they have just gorgeous fine faceting. These here are smooth rondelles, and this natural blue aventurine has some lovely variations from light to dark in kind of a denim blue palette. So pretty. Okay, so up next we have this gorgeous turquoise dyed howlite. So howlite is naturally a white marbled with gray, which makes it great as a turquoise substitute because you've got this great marbling. It looks like a turquoise matrix. And I love this rounded like disc quiche sort of shape. Just really pretty. It's got some variation to it, which I think is really gorgeous. All right, I'm running out of space. I'm going to try to fit a couple more. We'll see. Here is that Larvikite faceted rondelle, again, 8x5. And you can see that nice silver shimmer. Hopefully it comes through the video. But you've got just like little flecks of metallic labradorescence in the beads. Just the faceted with the smooth. And then we have the fancy Jasper also in a faceted rondelle. Again, 8x6. I'm thinking these might be a little bigger than 8mm. Oftentimes, the estimate that the lapidary gives can be off by plus or minus a millimeter, so we'll measure it before we list it. They're gorgeous. And then here is some beautiful Picasso Jasper in a rondelle. And again, I love those earthy colors. Gorgeous natural blends. You can see why it's called Picasso Jasper. You have these great linear patterns. Just a lot of gorgeous colors and abstract natural designs. I love it. And let's see, I'm going to have to clear this in just a minute, but look at these blue lace agate rondelles. They're so gorgeous for the price especially. They were a really nice deal and they're a beautiful quality. You've got a lot of the blue chalcedony and white quartz there. And a little bit, just a teeny little bit, it's occasional brown inclusions, but very nice blue color. Love those. Such a soft, natural blue, and I adore it. These are dyed and heat-treated magnesite again. So really gorgeous. I love that rondelle shape. These are a little bit smaller. I think they're 6x4. And they're a bit more of a deep robin's egg blue almost versus the blue-green larger magnesite rondelles there. Just beautiful. All right, now I think I really am going to have to pick this up and we'll look at some more stones. All right, so next up we have more of the fancy Jasper in the smaller 6x4 millimeter smooth rondelles. Love that. There's a lot of purple in this particular strand, which is gorgeous. Again, with fancy Jasper, you do get a lot of variation. It's just beautiful. Up next, we have some brown snowflake obsidian in an 8x6 faceted rondelle. Look at that. Just lovely. The gray and brown together. Such a beautiful neutral. Very in this year. Love that strand. And we also have some matte flower amazonite rondelles. Look at that. So pretty and minty. These look like sea glass to me. I just love it. Oh, so these are the 8x6. I guess the other ones are more like probably more like a 10 millimeter rondelle. That explains it. I didn't realize they sent me a larger batch too, but that's awesome because these are the 8 and they look like an 8. Where the others were more like a 9, 9.5 probably. Super gorgeous, more fancy Jasper. Always love that. Up next we have red Jasper. Really lovely. Got some brecciated patterns in there too. And I really like the slightly irregular rondelle here. It feels almost like he/she. It just feels very earthy. You've got like some that are thinner and some that aren't, and I actually really love that variation. Makes it super interesting. Here we have some really pretty amazonite rondelles in the 8x6. Just lovely. Lots of minty blue greens there. We have blue lace agate in a, looks like about a 3.5 to 4 millimeter faceted round. These are gorgeous. Again, it's a nice quality. Very lovely. I love that dainty blue. It's so classic. Again, it makes me think like Edwardian, Bridgerton type colors. I don't know. So classy. All right, up next we have some gorgeous chunky nuggets. I love these because they are fairly regular in size, but just different enough to be, again, super visually interesting. So these are a natural rose quartz. And then we have green aventurine. So gorgeous. Oh my gosh. These are so pretty and icy. I love the natural colors and the color variation you get when they're undyed. Here is some smoky quartz. Now, smoky quartz is often heat treated or irradiated to get this lovely color. So pretty. But again, it's not dyed, so you still have a lot of natural variation. And then we have amazonite, pretty minty greens with a lot of earthy, like ivory tones too. So fun. And finally, garnet. It's so heavy. I love garnet. It's such a solid stone. So you can see, due to the structure of the stone, you might have some like surface imperfections. It tends to look a little bit, I mean, it's actually polished and smooth, but it appears scratched just because of the formation of the stone. but it's actually also very, like I said, glossy and smooth to the touch. It's actually really fun to play with. Love that. This shape makes me really happy. Okay. Next up, look at these little sodalite stars. Are they not the cutest? So these are about a 6mm size, and they are just adorable. I love those. You can see the natural marbled blue and whites. Just so pretty. And then we have some petite sodalite rondelles too. These are about a 4mm, 4x2 it looks like. Again, very pretty natural marbled blue tones. And then I'm going to have to pick these up. My mat is full once again. Okay, up next we have some English cut beads. Here are Amethyst English cut faceted rounds, roughly an 8mm size. I love that bold triangle facet, and it's really nice amethyst. It's a nice dark color, and again, you can tell it's natural and not dyed. Look at those beautiful natural color variations. And this is about a 7.5 strand. We also have longer strands of carnelian. It's really lovely. Look at that. And then lapis. Here we go. Super pretty. All right. Got a couple round strands next. Ooh, this is so fun. This stone, it's often called medicine stone, which is always interesting to me. But you've got those wonderful like fossils in it. So I love just the natural neutral color palette. And all those little fossil-y patterns. Gorgeous. Also makes me think of the ocean. They look like little barnacles or something. Up next, we have Larvikite in an 8mm round as well. And again, lots of dark gray and blacks with some pretty silvery shimmer. Super fun. Ooh, I like these. We have matte amethyst. And, ooh, look at the chevron on that one. So pretty. So you've got really nice dark purple tones with some grays and whites. And that matte frosted finish is just so fun. And next up, look at these teeny tiny faceted golden quartz rondelles. So cute and sparkly. Always happy to get microfaceted shapes in. And those are a really nice quality. Next we have 8mm carnelian faceted rounds, and we actually broke this batch into half to make two different listings because there is a pretty strong difference between the two batches of rough that were used. One of them just ended up being kind of more of the lighter orange red side of carnelian, and one of them ended up being the darker red. So we just split it up so you can pick whether you want a lighter or a darker strand. Again, here they are together, both absolutely gorgeous. I love that almost liquid shine. Really nice. And yeah, you can pick which one you want. Ooh, here's some 8mm faceted amethyst as well. Those are like little disco balls. Love it. Those dark purple tones. So many rich, gorgeous gem colors this week. Next, we have labradorite rondelles. And these are about a 3x2mm size. You've got some beautiful microfaceting. They have a little bit of flash. They're not the flashiest labradorite I've ever seen, but they are super duper sparkly. They do have some flash in there too. And they are an absolutely crazy price for this gorgeous microfaceted strand. And same goes for these 4mm rounds. There's a fair bit of flash in those. And for the price, getting that natural labradorite with that gorgeous microfacet sparkle, so exciting. Next, we have some more Hubei turquoise. And these are so pretty. Look at that. Little 3x2mm facet rondelle. We actually have two different batches. So this is the lighter batch. this week. The other one, it's actually like close to the end. This one will be listed close to the end of the week, this one here. And this is the slightly darker rough, which interestingly was a little bit more expensive because it's got more, I think, of the dark matrix, but it also has more of the deep dark turquoise blue in it, which I think is why it was slightly pricier. They were still both absolutely crazy good prices for this natural Hubei turquoise, and we did get them imported before any tariffs hit, so that's definitely a plus as well. So yeah, really, really wonderful deals on these. Okay, up next we have some gorgeous sparkly Prennet in, I guess I can leave these out for now. The other ones, I'm trying to keep things kind of in order so they go back to the right places. Look at these sparkly Prennet. They're this lovely light green. You do have some fun, darker patterning in some of them, and all of them are just absolutely beautiful and sparkly. Such a great springtime color. Next, we have Pink Opal in a 4mm round. So creamy and nice. I love that. And it is very nicely faceted. It's one of those, opal is one of those like semi-opaque stones. It isn't quite as high gloss as something like a Prennet, but it is so creamy and pretty. Ooh, we also have this Hubei turquoise. This is a very nice quality strand. These tiny little cubes, like a 2.5 to 3mm faceted cube. But look at that stunning natural color. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, Hubei turquoise is properly stabilized. This means it's covered with a little clear protective coating, which just helps. Turquoise is such a soft and porous stone that you want to have it stabilized to protect its longevity. Next, we've got some more of these really lovely amethyst rondelles. Now, these are a darker purple, so they're more expensive. They're a higher quality rough than some of the ones we've had in past weeks. And they're just so pretty and sparkly. It's about a 4x3mm. And look at that sparkle. Just really lovely. Those are a nice quality as well. Have some super pretty amethyst in this week, which I am excited about. All right, next we have two different lapis strands. We have these that are tied in a knot. Look at that. That are about a 4x3mm here. Super gorgeous. Look at those blues. And then we have these tiny dyed lapis, and they're actually really nicely dyed. I don't always love the way that factories dye lapis, but these, I think they've done a good job of making them super vivid and bright. And they've done it in a way that still preserves some of the natural variations in the stone. So I actually really like these. Thought they were gorgeous. These are 3x2mm. And they're just so pretty. Ooh, look at all the pyrite in that one. Nice. Really pretty. Next, we have some malachite rondelles. Some natural malachite. And I was very excited to be able to get these in. Look at that banding. Look at that beautiful green color. And you can tell that these are genuine and not fake. They feel very heavy, like a stone and not like a resin. They don't have any of the black lining in them that you see, like the really garish dark colors that you see in the fake malachite. And they're from a reputable lapidaries too. So I just love them. But yeah, malachite is one of those beads that I see a lot of fakes out there not marked as fakes. So we're always very cautious when we're sourcing it. I'm very happy with that strand. Oh, these are gorgeous. These are flower amazonite cubes. They're about a 7 to 8mm size. Look at that creamy minty blue. Those sparkly gem cut cubes. I love that. Like, I like the table face cubes, but gem cut cubes where they've got facets all over each face and not just like the one centered facet. I really love that in these larger sizes especially because you just get so much more sparkle. And then we have more flower Amazonite. I just thought these were cute. Look at these ovals. They're, I think, about a 13 millimeter length by about a 10 millimeter width. I did measure them before I did this, but did it stick in my head? Well, we'll see. It'll be correct on I'm trying to have them more together, y'all. It'll be correct on the website for sure. But aren't they lovely? I just love that, like, gently faceted barrel shape. Something a little different always is exciting to me, and they look stunning with those cubes. Okay, and I'm going to clear my mat again. We've got a lot more gorgeous stones to look at. All right, up next we have some super fun tiger eye beads that are dyed and heat treated, and we did get a wonderful price on them, so very excited. Tiger eye is one of those stones where the dyed beads tend to be more expensive than the natural ones because it takes a lot of effort to create these gorgeous, gorgeous stones. So you get the chatoyant banding patterns of tiger eye mixed with vivid colors. So here's our magenta. This is violet. Love those. Next we have this midnight blue, which is almost a black. Like a steel, dark steel blue. I love it. And then we have the indigo, which is our dark blue here. So pretty. I love dyed tiger eye. It's so striking. We also have it in 8 millimeter sizes. Here is our magenta. That is stunning. I love it. And then violet. There we go. Look at that. I love the cat's eye effect that occurs naturally in the stone. Here is that midnight color. I love that. That is so rich and earthy. And then finally, indigo. Super pretty. All right. I'm going to move those aside for just a second. And we'll take a look at some other strands. Here is another faceted amethyst. You can tell this is a lower grade batch than the last one because it's a lighter color. You've got some gorgeous purples and grays and whites and a very affordable gem strand. And that sparkle. This lapidary always does the best faceting, microfaceting. Makes me so happy. Okay, these are stunning. This is one of my favorite strands this week. This bright blue apatite. So this is a natural strand, and just look at that color. Such vivid blues streaked with white and occasional darker inclusions. That neon blue. I love it. All right, time for some sodalite. So first of all, we have this multicolor sodalite, which is a lower grade technically. I think it's a lot of fun. You get some yellows and oranges in there, as well as the dark blues, grays, whites. It looks very oceanic to me. Here is some higher grade. This is a shorter strand. This is a 7.5 strand. Higher grade dark blue sodalite as well. It has such a pretty marbled look to it. And then finally we have some matte sodalite as well. So sodalite versus lapis, you have more marbled patterns. You don't get as much of that metallic pyrite glint, and you have a lot of, again, pretty linear designs. And it's more of a dark blue versus the indigo that you see in lapis. So here we go. Here are some lovely amethyst 8mm rounds. We have a couple different strands of those this week. So this one is a lovely deep purple. It's a very nice quality. It's going to be a little more expensive than our other strand, which just has more of the quartz banding in it. Again, totally natural. This is a chevron amethyst versus the traditional amethyst. And that just means, again, it really just means it has more of these white bands. Sometimes you get the chevron patterns in them. Sometimes they're more just like linear patterns. But really, really pretty. Versus the more just dark, clear purple. It's not perfectly clear. You've still got some natural variations in these as well. But they are lovely. And these are really fun too. It really depends what look you're going for. They're both beautiful in their own natural way. And that is why I could not resist picking up both of them. All right. And then we have a shorter strand of a really nice batch. It's kind of in between the two. It's a little icier than this long strand, but it's less white, less quartz than the chevron strand. So, and it's a half strand if you don't want to pay for the whole strand of the higher quality. So we break it up like that sometimes. Next, we have a 8mm English cut amethyst, and this is a longer strand than the last one we looked at earlier, but it is that same high quality dark purple rough there. So that batch is very deep dark purple. And then again, we also have the option of more of the chevron amethyst look. Ooh, look at the chevron on that bead. That's gorgeous. Some of them will have a really nice white V. Some of them will have just fun banding, but super pretty. So you can choose what sort of amethyst you are looking for here. Okay. After that, again, we have some options in lapis. So first of all, we actually had 3 batches of rough, and 2 of them came out a lot more similar than the samples looked like. So I'm feeling like we could maybe have combined them, but we kept them separate because, I like to give options. This is really gorgeous. You have a lot of deep, dark indigo. You have some brighter blues like that one. You have lots of pyrite in this batch and a little bit of the white as well. And the second batch was just a little more expensive, and it has a more, I think the reason is because it's more of an even color. You have less of the difference maybe between the bright and dark blues, but you still have some pyrites, lots of metallic pyrite, some white swirls, but it's very pretty. And then finally, third batch was not as expensive. They're all great deals. We got great deals on all of them, but this one is a lower price, and you can tell it's got more white in it. And it's still absolutely gorgeous. Lots of pyrite in there. This batch had a little more white, so we separated as a separate product. So you can pick which one works best for you and for your budget and preferences. Okay, so these are a synthetic turquoise product. They are man-made. They're a lovely dark green, and they're actually very nicely done. I think they might be a reconstituted magnesite because they have heft to them. They don't feel like just resin. So the factory just marks a lot of things synthetic turquoise, but these, like I said, I think those are, my best guess is reconstituted magnesite. But that lovely dark green is super, super nice. We will always mark our man-made turquoises as such. Now this is going to be more of a resin-based product. Again, a synthetic man-made turquoise, but I love it. This is the kind of stuff, the kind of synthetic turquoise I was obsessed with in high school. I made so many bracelets and necklaces with it because this color, I don't know, I've always loved it. And these are very inexpensive as well. These have a matte finish on them, which I thought was cool. It's just a subtle, slight difference there. Okay, I'm going to clear my mat off here real quick, but I want to show you these first since we've got other English cut going on here. These are rose quartz, natural rose quartz English cut beads. Super pretty, sparkly, delicate light pink. I always wish the factories would just use a white strand because then you could see the true color a little better. But when you were dealing closeouts, you kind of get what you get. And that's a common thing they do. But it is really nice. I can tell it hasn't been dyed. Super pretty. Okay. I'm going to clear this all off. And we've still got more great stuff to look at. All right, up next we have flower Amazonite chips. You got lots of greens and browns there. Super pretty. And then we have, these are so cute, these little Zuni bears. They are center drilled top to bottom. These are, again, that Peace Jade, which is the trade name for a naturally occurring blend of serpentine and quartz. You've got a little tiny bit of the purple sticktite occasionally, but it's mostly going to be greens and whites. So cute. I love those. And we've also got them in Picture Jasper, which I think is just such a great, they have a Southwest vibe, and I think that Picture Jasper is a great option for that too. But the Peace Jade was so pretty, I couldn't resist that also. I love all the different patterns. Everyone's unique. So fun. You'll get 4 pieces of those per bag, but I'm just putting 2 back in the bag so I can keep track of which bag is which. Okay, these are white moonstone chips. You can see they have a bunch of that gorgeous moonstone glow. Completely natural. You'll have some darker inclusions as well. I just love those. Up next, we have some 6mm sodalite rounds, and these have a lot of dark blue and a lot of white. They are very pretty there. Here's some serpentine, also known as new jade, though it is not technically a jade. That's the common trade name. But natural serpentine, lovely sea green chips too. I like getting some different shapes in. We were due for some chips. All right, up next, rainbow fluorite in a 4mm faceted round. Love the greens and purples. Very occasional gold accents in that strand. Up next, we have these 3mm faceted ruby corundum strands. So these are a natural ruby. They are very, like, they're a little pale in color. You've got some inclusions, but still just a phenomenal value for this price. I was very excited to find these. I don't get the ruby corundum in very much. Corundum is rubies and sapphires are both varieties of this stone. This is the natural redder variety. And it's kind of a nice pale pinky red. A little bit of white to it as well. It's very pretty and sparkly. I was super happy to find these, and I think they're a lot of fun. Next up, we have these 4mm amethyst. These are a lighter batch of rough as well. Very pretty natural colors, and again, super affordable. I'm always happy to find natural gemstones at affordable prices, so I love those. Okay, we have a few more of the chunky strands here. Look at these. These are amethyst, obviously. Natural amethyst, lots of color variation there, including some really pretty dark purples. And then we have sodalite too. Look at that. That is gorgeous. That is really, really pretty strand. Both of those. This shape is so much fun. I want to play with it. All right. Set those aside a little bit and see what's next. Ooh, some angelite. Look at that. So this is a matte blue angelite, and I love that powder blue natural color in a nice 6x4mm like Hishi rondelle. Those are lovely. So this is a half strand, or a half length strand. It's about 7.5 inches. And oh, that is just such a pretty natural color. I love it. And it's got like a matte finish. All right. Up next, okay, I'm obsessed with these. Look how sparkly, y'all. You know me, I love shiny things. These are dyed and heat-treated agate. They make me think of the beach, and right now I love anything that makes me think of the beach. Look at that. Got pretty banded blues and whites and browns all mixed together with that great Art Deco faceted, like super faceted cylinder. The facets are gorgeous. They're sharp. Look at this. This is like the beach in a bead right here. I love that one. I'm stealing it. No, really. Every time I bring beads home from work, I feel like My poor husband, he's like, don't you? We just cleaned all the beads. This was a home business for years and years, and now we actually have an external warehouse. And so I think he's kind of like, don't you have a warehouse for your beads now? I'm like, yeah, but those are for the business. These are my beads. These are the ones that I buy from myself. Anyway, I love those. Ooh, and these are gorgeous too. Look at this sunstone. So sparkly, lovely peachy color. And some really pretty granulation there as well, that adventure essence, as well as some peachy moonstone glow. Those are really nice. Lovely quality. Again, that 7-inch strand. Ooh, I actually love that with these beachy agate beads. Okay, and then we have these gorgeous quality Amazonite 3mm, looks like 3.5mm rounds. Look at those. So minty, very vivid in color. Love them too. All right, now I really got to clean this mat off again. And, well, okay, we got one more chunky nugget strand, so I'll show that to you. So we have quartz here, quartz crystal, with some icy white colors in it too. Look at that. So fun. That one just looks like a bunch of refreshing, cool ice chips. All right, now I really am going to clean my mat off. And, ooh, we've got gemstone hearts next. Okay, so up next we have some super cute, it looks like about 10mm gemstone hearts. And these are fossil coral, which you all know is one of my favorites. Look at that. They're so fun and pretty. I love these. Those are really great. Look at the patterns on there. Fossil coral makes me happy because you get those gorgeous coral patterns, but it's all ancient fossilized coral, so you're not hurting reefs. Then we've got rose quartz. This is a natural rose quartz. I don't see any sign that it's been dyed. Very pretty and classic. I love that. The pink hearts there. Next we have a rainbow fluorite. Ooh, I like that. That one's drilled a little wonky. Might have to pull this strand. But I love that. Green-purple combination. Very fun. Next we have amethyst. And this is more of that like chevron amethyst. So you've got some fun patterns. Look at that. Love it. Very nice. And then we have some lapis. This looks like it's been probably dyed just because of how uniformly dark it is. Very pretty though. You've got lots of pyrite. Really nice. Next we have red Jasper hearts. Classic. Love that earthy brick red there. Those are pretty. We really haven't had many gemstone heart beads in before, so I'm excited to get these. And then finally we have some brown pink rhodonite here. I love, love, love those earthy tones. All right, so that's it for our gemstone hearts. I think those are super great. Awesome. They're just fun to play with too. Look at that. That's just fun. Very satisfying. Not very helpful for organizing, but sometimes I just have to pick them all up at the same time because I can't not. It's just too fun. Okay. Ooh. Some really lovely faceted amethyst rondelles. Looks like roughly a 7mm. Oh, look at that. Again, we have a sideways drilled one there. I'll have to check and see. These are all just grabbing off the top of the stack. Whenever I notice stuff like that, I always make a note for our quality team to take a look and see if it's pervasive. And if so, we'll always note it in the listing. Ooh, and aquamarine. Some really pretty aquamarine. Look at that. An 8x6mm rondelle. Ooh, I don't always get this large of a rondelle because they are usually very expensive. So getting them at a discount is always exciting. Really love that. And that's beautiful faceting too. Again, the lapidary just always does such gorgeous work. We have some very nice iolite here in 3x2mm rondelle. Also known as water sapphire because this just has that Beautiful color. Next is, again, that slightly darker batch of Hubei turquoise in a teeny tiny little 3x2 millimeter there. Love it. So earthy. Have more of the golden rutilated quartz here. Super pretty. And beautifully fastened once again. So sparkly. We have some lavender amethyst, it looks like. Very nice. Pale. Has a lot of quartz mixed in, which gives it that light purple look. We have some apatite here in that classic teal color. Again, just a little teeny tiny faceted rondelles. These, I love them for bracelets. They're just so delicate and pretty. Ooh, so here we have some lapis stars. These, again, do look like they've been dyed, just because you have such uniform dark blue. You can see the pyrite inclusions. Very nice. All right, and here's some moss agate English cut beads. Have some really gorgeous, gorgeous greens there with those dendritic patterns. Really nice natural greens there. And some more flower amazonite. Now, these are so cool. These are like that rose cut, English cut, where you've got like little double triangles. This is a 10 millimeter size, so it's really bold. Again, these just are so beachy and gorgeous. Lovely flower amazonite. Beautiful design in that facet. So nicely done. Look at that. They are so sparkly and yummy. I love, love, love those. Again, for beading, not for eating. Then we have some larger lapis stars. This is going to be a shorter strand, and they do come separated by seed beads to help prevent chipping. They are also faceted, which is super pretty. You've got, it look like these are about 10 millimeters as well. Really pretty. Also do appear to be dyed, which gives them that nice uniform dark color. Okay, we are almost done, y'all. We just have 2 more strands left for this week, and one of them is more of the piece jade. Again, that's serpentine quartz and sticktite. And look at that English cut. That is so pretty. These are about an 8 millimeter size. Some of them are a little thinner, so probably like an 8 by 6 or 7 there. Just gorgeous. I love the natural variations in there. So cute. And then last of all, more English cut beads. This is a 7-inch strand of natural Botswana agate. So these are beautiful natural agate colors. I love the striated patterns you see a lot of. Aren't those beautiful? You have some almost purple tones, some orange, some browns, some grays, gorgeous neutrals. I actually really love them next to this quartz. I think that's so pretty, the yellows with those tones. Nice. All right. And that is it, y'all. That is all of the gorgeousness we are working on bringing you this week. So you'll start to see these gemstone beads up here today, and hopefully we'll have them all done for you by Friday the 9th. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful week ahead. I hope you have a great day today, a happy Monday, and that you remember to take some time for you. Take a deep breath. Just have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks, y'all. And as always, happy beading.